Okay, think we're good. I don't have to scoot back anymore, right? I think we're good. Hi guys! We are back with another wrap up. We are doing the May wrap up. I read 2 books in May. It's a little disappointing, but at least I'm back in the groove now. I have, as of June, I'm recording this on June 7th. As of June 7th, I've already read 1 book, but I think that's a really good start considering, these 2 books have propelled me back into reading. I'm still keeping up with my Chinese dramas, don't get me wrong. I'm still doing pretty well with that. I'm keeping up with that too. So let's get cracking on those 2 books that I read in May. But first, hydration. I'm dehydrated. I had ramen for lunch and it's really high in sodium, so I'm really thirsty. First book that I finished, Right Man, Right Time by Meghan Quinn. I love Meghan Quinn. She writes very simple stories, and that's what I felt like I needed to get back into reading. I needed a simple, contemporary romance. I don't want anything too complicated. I don't want any fantastical world, any dark romance. As much as that pains me to say, it is a little hard for me to get. Oh no, the AC's on. It is hot, but I think I'm gonna have to go turn it down. There's just a lot happening in this first video, so I have returned. What was I saying? Yeah, so I needed something simple for me to get back into the reading scene, just because anything too complicated, it's going to make me think too much, and then my mind is gonna wander, and I'm gonna start thinking about all the Chinese drama that I need to watch. So this was a great book for me to get back into it. So this book is about Ollie. She is a journalist. She's in school for journalism, and she's currently interning at this magazine tabloid company. She recently broke up with her ex-boyfriend. I don't really know if it's that recent. She said that she spent the summer single. So probably about 3 or 4 months. Her arch nemesis, Candace, she also works at this tabloid company with Ollie. They're both interns. And she is this suck-up, life-draining, energy-draining vampire of a terrible person. Because she sucks up so much to their boss that she became responsible of distributing everybody's topic for the end of the year kind of a project to be able to graduate this course that they're in school. And Candace, being Ollie's arch nemesis, she assigned Ollie to hockey. Ollie has no idea. They're in Canada. She's never even seen hockey. She doesn't know the most popular hockey player in Canada. She don't know anything about it. So she's just kind of complaining to her best friend, Ross, about it. That same night that they were assigned the topics, Ollie and Ross, they went to the bar while Ollie was just complaining to Ross about everything, hockey, her life, Candace, everything. She runs into Candace and Candace's now boyfriend, which was also Ollie's ex-boyfriend. I forgot his name. They broke up over the summer because the ex said that he wanted to focus more on work. Okay, well, why'd you show up with Candace? Candace and this new boyfriend of hers, disgusting ex, they start kind of just being lovey-dovey, just in front of Ollie too. It was just blatant disrespect. And so Ollie got so angry, and she's like, yeah, well, I'm dating too. I have a boyfriend too. Candace goes, oh yeah? Who? Because you were just I've heard you complain about how single you were and how dry as a Sahara desert you were down there. And of course, Ollie, in order to save face, she goes, well, my boyfriend is here right now. I just have to find him. Oh, there he is. She walks up to the only single good-looking guy there because everyone else was coupled up. She goes up to him and says, please, I'm so sorry. I'm about to kiss you. If you don't want me to kiss you, push me away. I'm going to give you, 5 seconds, a few seconds. He doesn't push her away, and she starts making out with her. making out with her. No, she's making out with him. So yeah, they're making out, very passionate makeout, by the way, to the point where even Ross is like, are you guys actually dating? So that made Candace and the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, leave, and then she goes, I'm so sorry, have a good night. And this guy's kind of like, well, wait, hold on. You just kind of used me. As hot as that makeout session was, I'm gonna need something from you now. And Ollie's just kind of offended. She's just like, I don't owe you anything. It's just, it's a whole back and forth. The guy that she made out with is just like, I need you to pretend to be my girlfriend. Why does he need her to pretend to be his girlfriend? Well, let's get into it. His name is Silas. He is the Vancouver Agitators hockey player. He is one of the most popular, most poppin', most hottest hockey player in town, in Canada. Like, it's I'm talking about, like, posters everywhere, billboards everywhere, okay? And she has no flippin' idea who he is. So, Silas, he just got out of a 10-year relationship. He was in a relationship with his high school sweetheart. What's her name? Sarah? Was it Sarah? It was Sarah. I felt so bad for Silas. Silas was going to propose to Sarah. Got the ring and everything, walked into their shared apartment that she wanted to buy because, Silas is always out of town because he's always at practice, at games, away from home, whereas Sarah is just, decided to just stay home without a job and stuff, so she wanted to live somewhere where she wanted to, and all the decorations, furnitures, it's all of them were designed and picked by Sarah. Now, Silas comes home with the box in his pocket, the box with the ring that he's gonna propose to Sarah with. He walks into their shared home just to find clothes, shoes, undergarments just kind of tossed everywhere. That's weird. Ooh, I wonder if she's kind of surprising me because our sex life's not really, it's not really happening lately. So maybe she's just trying to make it spicy, which is perfect because I'm about to propose to her. He walks toward the bedroom and he starts hearing noises. I don't need to go into what kind of noises, right? So he peeks through the door because obviously, of course, it's not closed all the way because why would it be? Sarah has another woman in bed with her. On top of that, do you think that's like the what really just knocked Silas in the head? No. What made it worse was that there's a man in the corner watching them while, And so Silas was just like, what the is happening in here? Like, Sarah, what are you doing? Who are these people? And Sarah's just like so nonchalant. Calm down. She's like draping, and so they're all naked at this point. Sarah just grabbed a robe and just draped it over her naked body and was just like, calm down, Silas. The nerve! Oh my gosh, I would have punched through some walls or something. Because Silas was trying to control himself, and Silas is, he's a hockey player. He's jacked. He's in the gym every single day, and he's eating like blanched chicken, rice, and broccoli with no seasoning. He's like that type of guy, okay? He just no season in his life just to get them gains, okay? And this guy who's with Sarah and the other woman in the room, just kind of like, as the group, the threesome, he's just kind of like, what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? I know, Lulu, hold on. But, of course, the first thing that she does is go covering my light. So, Silas, the man that he is, he kicks the couple out. Now it's just Sarah and Silas. Silas is just screaming his head off, like, what are you doing in our home? What is wrong with you? And Sarah is just kind of like, I don't see what was wrong. She was just not remorseful. And Silas was just like, okay, well, is this the first time that this has ever happened? And Sarah was like speechless. And we all know what that means, right? Yeah, that means that she's been doing this with other men and possibly women or possibly both before. So Silas is like, okay, well, we're done. Please pack your stuff and get out. I will be back tonight and I don't want to see you in here anymore. Sarah's just like, this is our home. What do you mean, like, I have to leave? And Silas, ooh, this was such a great move. Silas pulls out the line. Okay, well, enjoy paying rent with your jobless ass. Wait, hold on, babe. No, don't go. No, please, let's work it out. No, you know I don't have any money. You know I don't have a job. And that's not my problem because you know what? You f***ed around and you found out. Okay, this is you finding out, Sarah. And so, they're done. However, Sarah ends up getting a job with the Vancouver Agitators as their marketer. The balls! Oh my gosh! Woo! So that means that whatever function or even any games or practices, Sarah is gonna be there when Silas is there. So in order to kind of get back at Sarah, and to prove that he doesn't have any more lingering feelings for Sarah, that he can just kind of move on after this 10-year relationship, he decides the best course of action was to get Ollie to pretend to be his girlfriend. And Ollie agreed. Silas didn't tell her what happened until much later on, just because he doesn't really want her pity. He doesn't, his friends from the team doesn't even know. They don't even know what happened. They just knew that Sarah screwed him over after 10 years of being together. That's it. They don't know anything about Sarah cheating and possibly cheating multiple times with multiple partners. That's kind of the premise on both sides to propel the story forward. There's fake dating in this. Obviously, there's gonna be real feelings involved, and there is a breakup, a third act breakup in this, and you could see this happen from like a mile away, especially because after Silas told Ollie what Sarah did to him, he was just like, you know, I don't want anybody knowing. And Ollie's like, don't worry, I'm not gonna tell anybody. And it's not like Ollie did it on purpose, but you know, she's confiding in not in Ollie. Ollie's confiding in Ross because they're best friends, and she kind of let it slip by accident. She didn't even get the full sentence out, and she stopped herself, and Ross is like, what was that? No, finish your sentence. What was that? What were you gonna say? So unfortunately, Ollie did break her promise to Silas. And this is the part where I kind of felt like, Ollie, please use your brain. You know, you're 21 and everything, but please use your brain. You're very smart, you're very mature. That's why Silas fell in love with you in the first place. But it's just, Ollie was talking to Ross about this at work, where a possible arch nemesis could have been floating around, eavesdropping, like a ghost, like a fly on the wall. And you know, that's exactly what happened. And this relationship, this like Silas's ex relationship, that was all like broadcasted in the tabloid. So that was kind of what caused the third act breakup. And Silas already had very little trust to begin with after the whole Sarah thing. This just completely broke him, and he did not want to give Ollie any chances to explain herself. Because the thing is, Ollie wrote her piece on hockey and on Silas, and she even let Silas read it. And it was fine. It was perfect. Nothing about Sarah and Silas were involved. Sarah wasn't even mentioned. And it wasn't until after it was published that his friends, Silas's hockey friends, sent him Ollie's piece. And it was just like, what? But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of the story. I liked it. I liked it a lot. This book was hilarious. There were a few times where I busted out laughing, and I had to rewind a few parts over and over again just because it was so funny. Particularly when Ollie was telling someone who owns the Vancouver agitators and the owner's wife. They were together. They were at a gala, and Ollie was telling this couple of how her and Silas met. And it was the funniest thing ever. I had to keep rewinding it over and over again. It was just hilarious. Another thing that I really like about this book, and like the character, I love Ross. Ross is that ride or die, that bestie. I love him because Ollie ended up moving away. She is American and she's in Canada on a student visa, but things happen. But she ended up having to go back to the US because her student visa ended and she no longer has a job. Silas doesn't know anything about this. One day, I think they were all at a club after a game. Ross ended up hooking up and becoming a couple with another hockey player that's on the same team as Silas. And so he came to the bar, or not the bar, the club for an after game celebration. Ross went up to Silas and was just like, you got everything wrong. She didn't even, it wasn't her fault. Someone else altered your story. Thanks to you, she's gone. My bestie is gone. Now I'm just stuck with my boyfriend. I have no one else to come to the games with. You know, he didn't say all of this, but you know, it's just, I'm amping up the heat up here. So that's when Silas was just like, oh my gosh, I should have let her explain. Oh my goodness. So yeah, he had to go back to the Americas, go back to the US to find her again, to get his girl back. I think the one thing that I would have liked to see in general, Ollie never wanted to go back home to their small town. Ollie's parents didn't really want her to become a journalist. I think because Ollie's parents shaped so much of her to the point where she's just, you know, she's tough and she doesn't want to ask people for help. You know, they shaped her. I kind of wish that they kind of appeared, maybe even just for a little bit, you know, to kind of cheer her up after Ollie lost her job or whatnot. I don't know. It's just, I'm nitpicking at this point because I'd rather see more of a family coming together, or, you know, just everything coming together rather than just one spicy scene at the end. Kind of got tired of the spice. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if you know what I'm talking about because I didn't even really explain myself too well with the parent situation with Ollie. Like I said, at this point, I'm just kind of nitpicking. No, we're not playing with my hair clip. Not right now. You can play with it after I'm done filming. Thank you. As much as I enjoyed the series, I don't know if I'm gonna continue the rest of the series. I think this is the third book of the series. I'm not too big of a hockey player fan. I'm not a hockey player. Lulu! I think you just want your own light. Do you just want your own light? I have another one. Do you want it? You want to go back outside? Oh man, having a cat is tough. What was I saying? Oh, I'm not really a big fan of hockey romances, so I don't know if I'm gonna continue it. I think if I do, it's gonna be very spaced out. I'm gonna read another hockey romance probably in a few months. It's just not my scene. I enjoyed it. I appreciate it for, you know, bringing me back, pulling me back into the reading game, but I don't really know if I would read any more books from the series. So yeah, I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. Next and final book of May. It's called Blackmails and Other Turn-Ons, a dark rom-com by Carrie T. Now, this book, what did I give this? I gave this a 2.5 stars. It's just, I don't know how to explain this. I don't know how to feel about this book, and I'm feeling very conflicted. This book was not interesting enough for me to want to keep reading. However, I felt compelled to finish it because I spent money on it. You know, like I didn't want to waste my money on it. I got the audiobook for this. And I mean, it's like a couple of dollars or whatever. I think it was maybe $6-7. I got it on sale. And it was just, I mean, I can't disrespect my wallet like that, you know? So I finished it. If I just borrowed it from Kindle Unlimited, I probably would have just DNF'd. The first half of the book, I was intrigued. I was very interested. But the second half, lost me. Let me just tell you what it's about. It's about who even are the characters in the story. We have Lucky and Willow. First, let's talk about Willow. She's the FMC in this. She owns a fortune-telling shop where they give you fortune-telling, they sell you candles, they sell you tarot cards, they sell crystals. Oh, not fortune-telling, a tarot shop. Willow owns a tarot shop. And she is also a vigilante serial unaliver. During the day, she is a tarot shop owner. And then at night, she murders people. She has a TikTok account where she just reads tarot for celebrities and stuff. Not for them, but on them. She was doing the series on a Las Vegas magician. His name's Saint Shade. That's his stage name. He's very private. Nobody knows what he looks like because he has this mask on that covers his top side of the face. Kind of like a masquerade mask. Saint Shade is obviously not his real name, but nobody knows what his real name is. Yeah, very private. Only his team knows what he looks like. You know, being so, like, such a private person, Willow started doing the series on him. And Saint Shade watches them. Saint Shade knows exactly who Willow is. And one day when Saint Shade was going home from, I believe, a performance, after the performance, he was walking down an alley. I forgot. But one day, I think he was doing some light stalking, cyber stalking on Willow after stalking her TikTok page, and found out her full name, that she has a shop. And so he wanders down the alleyway trying, like, where her shop is, and he's like wandering down the alleyway in the backside. He sees Willow. Willow, if you're gonna do something, close your sheets, because she didn't. It could have been someone else peering through those windows. And so it was Saint Shade who was peering through those windows when she was someone else. And Saint Shade just watched, was not terrified. I mean, he was confused. He was shocked, but he wasn't like, oh my gosh, I have to call 911 right now. This girl is a murderer. Oh my god, no. No, he watched to the point where Willow made eye contact with him. She came out to confront him. I don't know how, but she figures it out. I forgot. Not that I don't know how. I read the book. I forgot how. She figured it out that this guy who saw her commit this unaliving, that he's Saint Shade. And now she knows exactly what he looks like. And so what does she do to kind of blackmail him? Chick! Takes a picture of him. And Saint Shade was just like, please, can you please just delete my picture? Saint Shade's saying it very desperately. You know, he's desperate for Willow to delete his picture because it's about something from his past and he doesn't want his picture out there. That's why he keeps his face hidden. That's why his life is so private. He can't have his past come back haunting him. And so Willow's like, okay, I'll erase it. But, you know, now I got dirt on you. You know, I know exactly what you look like and you saw what I did in my shop. And Saint Shade's like, that's fine with me. What's your name? You don't need to ask, but whatever. It's so that she doesn't know that he's stalking her. They exchanged names, but, you know, not Saint Shade didn't give his real name yet at this point in time. Oh, no, he did, but it's another fake name. What is it? Cade. He said that his name's Cade, and Willow already knew. You're not a Cade. You are not a Cade, which is really funny because at the top of the, you know, at every POV after it changes, so it's Willow and then when it's Saint Shade's perspective, his name is not Saint Shade or his real name. It's Not Cade because his name is Not Cade. They exchange names or whatnot. And Not Cade teaches her how to get rid of a body, even though not really teach, but just kind of giving some pointers. This kind of takes Willow aback a little bit because it's just kind of like, why are you so calm? I know I'm calm because that's my doing. But why are you calm? And so, we learn a little bit more about Not Cade down the line. We find out that his real name is Lucky and his family, they're not mobs, but they're the cleanup crew for mobs. We know what that means. Lucky says, I was born into the business. I'm expected to die in this business. And I really didn't want that. So I faked my own death during a cleanup and I escaped. And I had no money to my name. I came across a circus. Even Lucky was like, I know, a circus. It's so cliche, but I ended up joining the circus and I came to Vegas and made a name for myself for Saint Shade. That's kind of his story. Willow, her end goal is to take down this guru, this meditational guru. Yeah, I forgot his name. But he is a healer. And it's pretty much a cult. Because I'm not saying gurus are cult leaders. I'm not saying that at all. But this one is in this book. Because he literally will prey on his followers. And when I say prey, I mean the most unholiest type of acts. He uses them in a way that no leader should. Willow's best friend, she was a cancer patient, but she found out a little too late. She tried all the treatment, nothing was working, and she found this healer. He was doing all type of stuff to her. Nothing sexual at this point. And it kind of looked like and felt like Willow's best friend was doing a lot better. However, it started getting worse again. And this was when the healer took advantage of her and was just like, you need a cleansing. And after that, obviously, Willow's best friend is like, that's complete BS. I didn't get better. The best friend ended up dying very shortly after that because of her cancer. Nothing, like it was just this guru, this cult leader was just taking advantage of women who need help. So that man is Willow's end goal. That's like the gist of the whole story. Like that's this story could have had a lot of potential, but I don't know, I just kind of felt like something about this romance, it was too quick. Like Willow trusted Lucky too quickly. For somebody who has her secrets, who is a vigilante, who has a tragic background, her best friend and everything. And also she has her own, Willow has her own tragedy too, like her background story. It's very tragic. My camera's about to die, so hold on. But yeah, so Willow has her own tragic background as well. It involves another terrible man when Willow and her sisters were kids. And I believe it's her mom's boyfriend, not husband. And he would abuse them in some way. I really can't remember. But it's terrible. It's no kids should have to go through that. And thank goodness Willow's mom has a backbone and did want to protect her babies. And so she literally grabbed her kids, grabbed her stuff, and then just left. That's why Willow has such an aversion to guys who just takes advantage of women. And she has really bad PTSD also from her first relationship from college. But you would think that with someone's background like Willow, she wouldn't trust men very easily, especially because it's event after event, tragedy after tragedy. It's all caused by men. But she trusted Lucky very easily. And like she opened up to him very easily. And I'm just like, too fast, too quick, and the romance happened way too quick. I don't know. I did not, it was not vibing with me at all. I will say though, when Willow and Lucky first started their relationship, it's very cute. It's very almost like puppy love, because Willow told Lucky about what happened to her. He knows to not push her. I think that's very sweet that Lucky never pushed any boundaries. Like, they never went past making out. Not even like groping or touching or whatever. So it's just making out, cuddling. Very sweet. It's not until later on where the spice started coming in, and I think we only have maybe 1 or 2 spicy scenes. So not overdone at all. My problem with this book is just Willow trusting too easily, even though Lucky is a really great guy, but she don't know that. Another big thing was that, you know how I told you that Lucky's family was the cleanup crew for the Italian mob? And typically, at least from my knowledge of reading dark romance stories, you do not leave the mob. Even the cleanup crew, you're in it for life. That is the reason why Lucky ran away, because he's like, I don't want to be stuck. I wanted to live a life of my own. I wanted freedom. But when Lucky's family found him, because they did end up finding him because of a picture that someone took when Lucky and Willow were outside hugging. His face wasn't showing in the picture, but like, these people, they're super fans. They literally analyzed like Lucky's shape, his build. They knew Willow's face because of her TikTok and stuff. Her Saint Shade series stopped very abruptly. And so people were just like, she definitely found out who Saint Shade is. They're definitely in a relationship now. So it's like, his family found Lucky through that one picture. Lucky's family shows up to one of his shows. He's 12 feet from the ground. I don't know how tall that is. I'm only 5'3", so that's at least double me, like 2 of me, and then some. And, he was dangling in the air, and he saw his family, and he lost his grip, and he fell, and he hurt himself. Hold on, I'm going off on a tangent, but his family was just pretty much at the end was just like, listen, if you wanted to leave, you should have told us. Which does not line up with the mob behavior at all. So that was a little odd to me, kind of unrealistic. I mean, but what part of this book is realistic? I would say probably the healer guru part, because a lot of disgusting people are out in the world trying to take advantage of people in need. Probably the most realistic part of the story, unfortunately. But yeah, Lucky's family just kind of just took me out the story. Which is also funny, because the thing that brought Willow and Lucky together is the cleaning up of murders, which is what his family did or still do for a living. So it's like it's a full circle. But so technically, is he back in the family business but not working for the mob and only for Willow and just helping each other clean up the messes? I don't know. It's just I don't know. Another thing that just kept gnawing in my brain. Remember when I said that Lucky fell 12 feet from the ground doing a trick? He could have broke something, but he didn't. After that, I guess the person who's in charge of the flamethrower or the fire or whatever, at the Vegas shows, it's always the flame people. Well, he thought the show was still going, and so he fired the flames. And it burned Lucky, I think, on the shoulder or his legs, like one of his limbs. And nobody thought to call the ambulance for him after the big fall and probably a 2nd-degree burn. At least 2nd degree, because he was close to the fire. But that's not where they went. They went to find Willow, who was kidnapped from the show, because they're all at the show. And I found that just kind of just took me out. It was just, the logic wasn't there for me. I can be very logical. I'm a very emotional person, but when it comes to reading books, it has to make sense. And this part did not. you know, going back to his family, I just remember this point. Remember when I said that it just didn't fit? It didn't feel like it fit. It was too heartwarming, was kind of what I meant. I love a heartwarming ending. I love it. I love it when everything comes together. Because remember, for right man, right time, I was like, I wanted the family to be there. I wanted like the things to come together and stuff. But this, it's a little too heartwarming for me because, like I said, they're a mob cleanup crew. They're not supposed to be so forgiving, especially when someone's trying to leave the family, the business. But I feel like the only reason why they're being so forgiving was because in order to find Willow, they needed to utilize everybody in the family. You know, one was stalking, one was hacking, one was finding stuff, one was doing this, one was doing that, and then they ended up finding Willow very quickly. But I'm just kind of thinking, I kind of felt like they only did that because the author knew that Lucky couldn't have done it alone and couldn't have saved Willow on his own. And that's why the author wrote the family the way that they were. I doesn't make sense because I'm confusing myself too with how I'm wording it. It's just my brain. It made sense in my brain, but now that I'm saying it out loud, I don't know if it really made sense. But do you know what I mean? It's just, I felt like the author made the family the way that they were in order to create the ending that the author wanted. Does that make sense? But the ending is, I don't know. It's just a 2.5 star read for me. I just didn't really like it. I wasn't a big fan of it. I don't know what else to say. It could have been great. I really, really liked it. And I also like that Lucky's character is not like this mafia boss. He's not someone with so much power. He's an average Joe who is trying to run away from his past. And not even like a mafia level mob boss status type of life, you know? But the cleanup crew. And he's running away from that family to become a magician in Vegas. You know, I feel like this is it's nice to read about an average Joe. And you know, like with Willow's character, but that is all. I only read 2 books in May. What else can I do? I guess I also have some book unboxing to do because I never got to unbox them. I wanted to unbox them on camera. So let's do them real quick. What did I even get? I think I know what this one is. I think this is from Barnes and Noble. Yeah, this is from Barnes and Noble. Let's see. I know what this book is. It's Game On. Aha! Game On. So pretty. Where are my other 2? Where are my other 2? Hello? Oh, it's right here. I need to make space. I can't put it up there. I have no space, so I have to make room. I'll find space. But Game On. And then I have this box. Where is this from? I found a letter opener. I love using letter openers. And also when I was younger, I always liked using a letter opener because that's what my mom used to open up her letters. And I wanted to be like my mom. So what is in here? What did I get? Oh, yes. I forgot about these. Yas, honey. So I got the Vicious Lost Boy series. I was introduced by my best friend to read these. Kickstarted my reading journey along with Akatar. This kickstarted my reading journey because I started this and I'm like, I needed more books. And then she gave me Akatar. And I was like, are you kidding me? I can't get into this book. Can I get another recommendation? And she's like, just get through it. It's a canon event. So yeah. I don't have room, but I will find room. I'm gonna have room on the floor. And then what is next? Wolf. I read this in April, March, whichever one it was. I really like this book. So that's why I got it. And then I got Part of Your World. I read this also, I believe, in April. And what's funny is that I recently got this book on Audible on sale for $3.99, you know, the daily deal. And I was so excited. I was waiting for it to go on sale. So I was very happy to grab that on sale. And now that I have the physical book to go with it, when I do a reread, because I will do a reread on this, I cannot wait to annotate. But that is all. Those are all the books that I got. Very short haul. Yeah, this is all. Yeah, sorry for the really short video though, guys. The next wrap up is going to be longer because I hope I read at least 5 books with how I'm reading lately. I've figured out a balance between reading, watching my shows, spending time with my fiance, planning the wedding. Planning the wedding is so stressful. When I am driving to and from work, I will be listening to my audiobooks. Either I'm listening to my audiobooks or I'm listening to music, depending on how tired I am. Because if I'm tired, I do not want to listen to a book. I just want to jam out. And then when I'm at work, when I can, I usually get about an hour in for listening to audiobooks. When I'm home, I either spend time with my fiance or I watch my Chinese dramas or I listen to my audiobooks. But I have to have a balance, and I think that's working out pretty well for me. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and find space for this stack of books on my bookshelf. I don't know how possible it is. We will see though. Anyway, thank you for being here, and I will see you next time. Oh, I guess my question is, what's my question today? Oh, if you were ever in a book slump, like heavy book slump, what got you back into reading? What genre? What book? And why? You don't have to tell me why, but I just, discussion. Those 2 are my questions. I'll see you next time. Bye.